years' time now, we're going to be rolling out STEAM education in Mauritian schools as well. That is the ultimate objective, is that within the next 5 years we're going to see STEAM education being practiced in schools. Many private international schools are doing it. They don't call it STEAM, um, uh, but it's still got a long way to go in Mauritius. We're trailing behind first world countries, and so this is really a first world country. And if we're going to pull Mauritius, um, uh, up, this is going to be one of the ways in which we do this. I don't know if you want to add anything to it. Um, it's 21st century thinking skills that we developing with kids.
Okay, so basically it's like you cannot build tomorrow with yesterday's thinking.
Correct. Correct.
And how do people welcome this idea of having their kids involved in STEAM based on your experience so far?
Well, I think Michele should be the one answering this because she's more Mauritian than I am.
Okay.
And so it's about tapping into the Mauritian market. That is crucial, I think, for STEAM. And
Some of them, most of them are not aware for the moment of what STEAM education because they have not heard about it. But some are interested
Okay.
and ready to go
Grace.
to embrace the STEAM education. Even this morning we had a nice meeting with two Mauritian ladies, very interested with STEAM education, and I think they will go
I
for
think
it.
I think it's a case of when people hear what it's about, how it's an integrated approach to education. It just makes sense. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. You see, um, what we're looking at is a subject called STEAM.
Okay.
Okay, so STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, is everything. Everything. So what we're trying to do is help children to develop a reality with through this lens, through a STEAM lens.
Okay.
And previously, subjects are taught in isolation. So you've got a history subject over here, you've got science over here, you've got mathematics over there, you've got geography over here. And so we ask the children, what's your favorite subject? And this one says math. We want children to say STEAM is my favorite subject. Because STEAM is the way you look at the world. It's a way you look at the world. It's a mindset.
Nice. And talking about the word, if I'm not mistaken, you're originally from South Africa.
Correct.
So how has been that transition, like leaving South Africa to Mauritius?
Well, before we came to Mauritius, the transition was via Taiwan. We lived in Taiwan. And so coming to Mauritius, I've spent the last probably 4 out of the 6 years in education, checking things out, and I've really been waiting for an opportunity to know what the need is in Mauritius, so that I can make a meaningful contribution. That's we all have a life purpose, and in terms of finding my life purpose, I've come to understand that I'm an educator by profession, and if I'm going to be an educator, I need to make a contribution, and I don't want to just be rehashing old ways of education. That's not what education is about. It's about being innovative and looking for new solutions, because the challenges that face kids today is enormous. For us as parents, we this. You know, society in general around the world has gone from an agrarian society to an industrial society, from an industrial society to technological, and from a technological society to an information age driven society that we're living in now. And for each one of those, we've had to have a certain skill set of thinking to succeed. So in the agrarian age, you would have had to have been good with growing food and you know making food for people. In the industrial age, you would have needed to know about competition. You would have needed to know how to manufacture and how to organize people for manufacturing. The technological age was a different age. You had to think about how to operate these computers. When I was at school, the Commodore 64 was the computer of the time. You know, or the XT. The XT was before the Commodore. That was just the beginning of the technological age, and that required a whole different mindset of thinking. Now we're in the information age, and so we've got to give children these skills, and the skills that are required for the information age, are that they utilize the higher faculties of intelligence, intuition, curiosity, among others. You know, these are the kinds of skills that we've got to have. Imagination. We've got to get them using these skills. This is what's required of 21st century thinking. Not how to bricks and mortar, how to build a house. Yes, that will always be a place for people who know how to lay bricks and build houses. But really, we need to be giving children a vision of where the world is going. That's what we've got to give them. And by providing them with skill sets that utilize, get them thinking about science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics is an integrated way of getting them, preparing them for 21st century.
Okay, so basically it's like reshaping everything. And according to you,
Well, yes, the education system itself needs to really be, people need to really sorry, what was the video there? Edited. Put it actually behind. Okay, take two. Yeah, we should have done that from the beginning.
Yep.
Should we start again?
it's okay.
Okay, what was the question?
Is it reshaping how each
The word is an evolution.
It's a transformation.
Transformation, yeah.
You know, this is just there are many different systems out there that are really good. You've got the Steiner systems, like the Waldorf system. The Waldorf schooling is great. It's very similar to STEAM education. But really, it's about transforming the mindsets of people, knowing that there are other ways of doing things. The possibilities are, when you can live in the realm of possibility, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And this is what we're going to be sharing with children. We've got to get them living in the realm of possibility. In fact, they already do. They already do. When they're little kids like that, anything is possible for them. But somehow when they go to school and as they're growing up, that's kind of beaten out of them. And we've got to find a way of harnessing that energy that they have. STEAM education is very child-led education. You're just creating an environment where children can develop their skills and their potential in accord with their needs and interests. We've got to not shape them to be what we want them to be. They're going to be the best people they can be. They've got to come and solve the problems that they've got to find the solutions, and it's going to take free thinking young minds to be able to do this. You know, divorced from religion and schooling and all that, we've got to free the children's mind. You know, we've got to really open them up to the possibilities that exist out there, because the road ahead is really exciting. The road, yeah.
And according to you, what would be some showstoppers regarding implementing this project? I mean, and how would you cope with that?
Well, you've got to create an environment that is conducive to this kind of thinking. So it's not even just about educating children. You've got to educate the whole learning community. The whole learning community has to be aware of what we do, and there's got to be a buy-in at every level. So the parents have to understand that things have changed since they were growing up. They were growing up in a time where life was very different. They were growing up in a life where mobiles didn't exist. Well, maybe in my generations, it was only during the course of my teen years that mobile phones became part of the life. Parents have to understand that things are changing, and because therein lies the challenge, because we're wanting to change education for children, but they still have to go home, and they still have to listen to mom and dad, and mom and dad have got their education, their paradigm of thinking that they're passing on to their children. And parents are usually the most influential teachers in a child's life. So we've got to find ways of creating a connection with the parents, bringing them into play. It's very important that they buy into this, and all it takes is communication. We've got to find a way of opening up the communication channels with the parents. Because once you've got the kids are they're buying it will be easy. They're open to new ideas. It's the parents have to understand that things that are changing. The mindset is changing with it.
Okay, and how would you reach those parents who want to implement this? Maybe you have parents who are willing to change things in the way
Well,
education
you know, you've got the social networking strategies that you can implement. It's tricky when you're talking social media, because you're talking about children and you hear about all the crime that goes on with social media. So you've got to start dialogue. You know, whether you want to use Facebook or you want to use Dojo or you want to use, there's different platforms that you can use that all have different objectives. I'm one for using whatever's available. Yeah. We're creating awareness. We think STEAM are creating awareness. We're looking at creating a platform for children to perform on, for young kids to perform on. So when you've got a microphone, hey, well, you're in charge. You can say your piece when you've got a microphone. You've got to be creative. You've got to be creative. You know, one of the things we're doing, like we're doing here, having the Freedompreneur get together of people sharing ideas. At Think Steam, we have our Wednesday morning Think Steam coffee sessions where we invite parents and anybody who's interested in STEAM education for coffee, where they can ask questions, talk about the progress the kids are making, and looking to find share the love with the kids.
Thank you. And have there been instances where you're burnout, like you're fed up with whatever you're doing, entrepreneurship wise, other ventures, or is it really something passionate that you
Well,
keep doing?
the thing is, I know for us, we just see an infinite world of possibilities, and when you've got that, if you get bored with something, well, then you move into to something else. You know, it's up to your imagination. I can understand how some people get burnt out with the jobs that they do because it becomes a rut and a repetitive thing. Well, when you're working with kids, no 2 days are the same. No two lessons are the same. And what's nice is because we're a private educational service provider, we don't have the constraints that education bodies have. When you're a school, you've got to answer to the Department of Education and that kind of thing. With us, we're just providing a service, and it's up to parents to decide whether they want their children to participate in the programs we offer. But we're really hoping that we can then launch into a trainers program where we can start working with teachers in government schools and getting funding for those kind of projects where we can help train the trainers in schools, because even the teachers in schools need to. A great man and mentor, Wayne Dyer says, change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at begin to change. And so this is the kind of mindset that we need to get into the teaching bodies. We're going to encourage teachers to change the way they look at things. Because when you change the way you look at things, things will change for them. And if they can develop that kind of mindset in the schools, well, then they're on the road to a very exciting future with the kids.
And talking about funding, a rough estimate. Can you please share what's the financial budget for a parent willing to implement this STEM education?
We haven't really done any calculations on it. But what I can say, it can be done in a very cost-effective way. Going into schools and that, you can provide STEAM education with a cardboard box, a bottle of glue, and some scissors. There we go. There's your start.
At grassroots level?
Yeah, it's just a way of thinking. You just got to change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at begin to change. You can, with a pair of box cutters and some cardboard, recycling. People are doing it, but they're not conscious of what they're doing. Yes, they're recycling and all that. But when they start looking at it from a STEAM perspective, then the whole world takes on a new perspective. The reality changes. This is what STEAM education does for you. It changes your reality, and this is what we've got to do. And it's just a flick of the switch. The mind is a giant switching station, and there's lots of little buttons in our mind. And all we have to do is flick the right switches, and suddenly it makes sense. And that's all it takes. Is to press the right buttons and give it. And how do we do that? We start by giving exposure to teachers. They could probably be doing it already. But when they flick that one switch, then it becomes a mission. That now we want the kids thinking like this. Because they're the innovators of the future. They're the future scientists. Scientists don't begin when they leave school. Scientists become scientists from when they're this age. They've just been allowed to develop their curiosity, to continue developing their curiosity. Just like a professional rugby player or a professional soccer player doesn't become it doesn't start when he leaves school. It starts when they're this age. It's what you are. It's what you become.
Thank you. And regarding countries you've visited, what have you noticed, education-wise, which can be implemented here?
Um, Developing discipline, self-discipline, self-motivation. Having taught in Taiwan, those kids, it's quite extreme. They start school at 8 o'clock, and sometimes they only, if they're in primary school, they might only finish at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I taught some teenagers who only got home at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and they still had homework to do. Okay, that's quite extreme. But you know, one can be realistic, and we still want kids to be kids. I thought it was pretty extreme, but they are motivated, they're driven, they understand world issues. They're very in touch with the things around them. They're very aware of things, and so creating awareness is very important for kids, because when people become aware of something, then they become motivated to do something. It's only when you become aware of something that you can become motivated to do something. So, you know, just making children aware of all different things, all STEAM related subjects.
And talking about your experience, have you started like entrepreneurship ventures in the past?
In fact, my first experience as an my first one.
Okay. And have there been instances where you followed trainings or followed some kind of patterns, or it was just like, let's do it?
For this case, I say let's do it, because in fact it was in my mind I'm very concerned with what's happening actually in the world. We are in a period of transition,
Okay. team building for setting up like this partnership? Or because sometimes people they come up with conflicts with time, but
Well,
what has been the alchemy?
well, in actual fact, we've got a group. We've got a group called Manifesting Mojo,
Okay.
and Manifesting Mojo, we got together because we were all in limbo. We were all um, looking to find our purpose in life, and
In conscious
in a conscious looking at we're looking at the conscious mind, and we were sharing ideas about mind, body, soul, spirit, and um, and then as we were studying this information and sharing information, we were just a half a dozen of us getting together once a week where we have these discussions. Now we've all seemed to have found our purpose, and we just don't have time to meet anymore. Everybody's kind of got on their way because it really is a
maybe it
universal.
was like a kind of brainstorming, maybe.
Yeah. You know, it all started off with studying aspects of the mind and how we think, and from there,
Manifesting what we want and what we
how,
want in
how do
this
you
life.
manifest things? We hear of how people manifest things in their life, and so this is how we did it. We were studying it, and I think at the root of everything, faith, belief, and expectation was that I put out there. Having the belief that you can do it, that that we've all been blessed with these gifts. We've been blessed abundantly with gifts that some of us don't even realize we have them. And then having the faith to pursue what we believe in, having the expectation that it's going to happen. And that's exactly, I was in a school job, I was teaching, and there came a time where I had to make a decision that either I stay here and this is what I do with my life, or I get out there and I take a risk, I step out of my comfort zone where I now have to make something happen. And so I believed I could do it. I stepped out, I took a step of faith, resigned from my job, and with the expectation, I believed that it was going to happen. And we had our weekly meetings and we talk about it. And I always knew deep down I needed to have a woman alongside me, but I knew my wife wasn't up for that because she's got her own mission that she's on, and because I'm dealing with children, and having a female partner, it made sense to have a male figure and a female figure, a yin and a yang, to a mother-father figure, doing what we're doing, and so I had to have the expectation that the universe will provide that person for me, and I couldn't have found a nicer, better person to share the vision with, and it's like it was meant to be.